I have a certain type of heaviness right now. I just did another recording of this, and I felt it was too long and no one's going to watch it. So I want to do another one, but quickly, so you understand what I am talking about. I am talking about being an ENTP and the struggles that we face, because I feel like people don't really understand how freaking hard it is to be an ENTP, because we seem like we have all our shit together, but most of us don't. And if we do, we have been like through some shit and figured it out for a long time. It freaking sucks being an ENTP. It sucks big time. Because we don't know our emotions. We feel a lot of emotions, but they're very unconscious, and we don't have this deep feeling of who we are. So even though we intellectually have like an incredible amount of consciousness of ourselves, we know how we function, but we're not so good at controlling that ourselves. And it's very frustrating to know what is wrong with you and still succumbing to those very weaknesses. Like a type like the INTJ, for example. It takes them longer to understand the mechanics of how they function. But they are really good at integrating that consciousness when they get it. And that's why the ENTP and INTJ are like, my best friend is an INTJ. And the friendship we have, the love we have for each other, it's beautiful. But I give him that consciousness of himself. And he listens to me ramble, and he extracts the essence of what I say, and he memorizes it, puts it in a concise way, and says it back to me when I need to hear it. I'm like, wow, you're so wise. And he's like, you told me this. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I'm an idiot, because I know everything, yet I don't do shit about it. I said that we don't really have this deep feeling of ourselves. I asked my INTJ friend, and I said, I told him, I'm so confused. Like I constantly have this feeling that I don't know really, like everything's just so strange. I don't really feel myself. And he told me that he does. He says that he has this feeling in his heart. And if I ask him, like, if you were to point to yourself where you are, he points here. And if I do the same to myself, I do here, or here actually. Now, that is like the feeling of essence where we are. But obviously both is true. But this is more true. Because our emotions run deeper than our thoughts. If you're connected to your heart, you're closer to God, the universe, nature. You're closer to the depth of life. Instead of running around on the surface and trying to figure out things. Even if you figure out things on a very deep level, you're not living that knowledge. That is the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Wisdom is lived through the heart. Knowledge is systematic and methodical. And the Entp is a really methodical type. Even though like you wouldn't understand it, maybe looking at the functions. Oh, any TI, you just go around going crazy with your FE as well, like you're just a crazy boy or girl. But we have methods for doing things, but that doesn't mean that we have a good routine, which is also what INTJs with lead NI, any lead NI user or lead SI, or that have strong of these like very developed functions, they would have a good routine. But we have a method for doing our things. And we're kind of like engaging with the unknown. We're kind of uncomfortable with it because we're so methodical. So we learn something incredibly quickly to get out of that comfort zones, to build this methodical structure. And then when we have it, there's like, there we go. Now I know this thing. Which is often why, like, after a time, we stagnate because we don't work on the system anymore. We don't want to go out in the unknown territory. We want to stay in our system and believe that it is perfect. Even though we know it isn't. Which is weird. People say like, oh, ENTPs love going into the unknown. And it's true, but only to a certain extent. When we feel like we know something, we don't want to engage with unknown anymore. Like I play chess, and like I've been at the same rating for maybe 4 years, and I'm okay with it because I'm a decently strong player, and that is like what I had in mind. Like I want to give anybody that I meet a really like tough time. And I enjoy playing chess. And I enjoy using my structure, or like how that I engage. I think it's interesting, but yeah, I mean, it's not dedicated enough to like keep evolving the system. And that is why I feel like civilization or our society here in the Western world, it's not really built for the ENTP, because society is built for specialists. If you want to succeed in our society, I'm saying generally, like the most likely way, the most likely way to success is to dedicate yourself to one path, and then becoming an expert in that field. And then when you're the best, then like the money flows in. But being an ENTP, we're kind of jack of all trades. but a master of none. Like when we reach mastery, or at least like when it has happened to me, it is when I have another person with me, or multiple people dedicated to the same goal, so I can kind of see that emotionally it is valuable to the tribe or whatever, that we're doing this together. And I'm very competitive, so then I'll keep learning, and I always want to be the best. And if someone's better than me, it's very motivating. But that's a rare thing. Most, like 99% of the time, I'm not motivated when I'm alone. With other people and creative projects, it's a different story. But yeah, I'm currently in the situation where I've instigated a creative project, but I'm away from the people, and like all of the weight of the work is on me, and then the other people will join. And I've been struggling for 4 years. I haven't done the thing I'm supposed to do for 4 years. I feel like I need something to bounce off of, because I get so easily distracted. Oh God, I hate being an Entp. It just sucks.